How's it going, everybody? It is Mr. Cognetti from Citizenship Academy, and today we're going to be doing another math lesson. We're going to be doing Math Module 6, lesson number 25, all right? Today, I want to work on number problems. We're going to be doing a couple different number problems that are going to be working with, you're going to be hearing the phrasing in the number problem that says, so-and-so had 5 more than someone else. All right, so we're going to be hearing that more or less, and that's going to help us decide whether we're going to be adding or subtracting. And we're also going to be doing it a little bit of a different, or we're going to be using a little bit of a different method than we have in the past. It's going to look similar to a number bond. All right, so I want you to keep number bond in mind when we're doing it. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to read a number problem, and I want you guys to draw a picture. Well, this is what we're going to do, all right? You're going to watch me first, but we're going to draw a picture to match the word problem. And then we're going to give a number sentence that matches the picture in the word problem that helps us find our answer. All right? So the word problem is, Ben played 9 songs on his banjo. Lee played 3 more songs than Ben. How many songs did Lee play? So what we're going to show here is, I'm going to show using a rectangle the amount of times Ben played. So I'm going to put a B for Ben. All right, so B for Ben. Now we're going to show how many times he played on his banjo, okay? So I'm going to say this is for his 9 times, okay? Now I'm imagining this is like a bar going this way. If he played more than 9 times, it'd be longer. If he played less than 9 times, if he only played, say, 1 time on his banjo, it'd be really short, okay? So I just put it this length. It's good size. I can see it clearly. You guys can see it clearly on my board. That's the size I went with. Now it said Lee, I'm going to put an L for Lee, played 3 more, or practiced 3 more times than Ben did. So here's a question. If Lee practiced 3 more times than Ben did Lee at least practice 9 times? Yes, he did. If he practiced more than Ben, that means he practiced more than 9 times. So at some point, he reached his 9th time practicing. So here is our 9 that Lee practiced. And then we're going to draw another rectangle adding onto it because he did 3 more. I'm not going to draw as big of a rectangle because 3 isn't as big as 9. But here's, say, his 3 more times. So we had the 9 times Ben practiced and then 3 more. Okay? And our question was, how many times did Lee practice? Well, here's where it starts to look like our number bond. This, an upside down number bond, but here are our 2 parts, and we need to write in our whole. So to do so, part plus part equals whole. Okay, 9 plus 3 equals, and what does 9 plus 3 equal? Well, if we don't know off the top of your head, we can count on 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay? I think this method will help a lot of people out because I've noticed some of us have struggled when we have a question that's saying, what is 10 more than 5? Or what is 17 is how many more than 3? Okay, so this problem, setting things up like this, is what's going to help us solve that. All right? So we're going to do another one, and I want you to think of this method. Think about how it's like a number bond, I'm sorry, and use the knowledge you know of number bonds to help you with this. All right, go ahead and erase your board or find a blank space on your piece of paper. We're going to do another one. Okay, so I want you guys thinking about what the picture is going to look like when I'm reading the problem, all right? Because that's our first step, is to draw that picture. This one is about Nikki. Nikki hopped on one leg 15 times in a row. That's pretty cool. So Nikki hopped 15 times in a row. Kim, her friend, hopped 4 times fewer than Kim. So 4 times less than Kim. How many times did Kim hop on one leg? Okay, so let's think about how we're going to set up this problem. We want to know how many times Kim hopped on one leg, which we know it was less than Nikki. Okay, so we know Nikki has 15 times, and we know that Kim hopped 3 less than Nikki. 4 fewer times. So 4 fewer times. Sorry, I read that wrong. So we have Kim. We need to find out how many times she hopped. So for our bar for that, I'm going to put a question mark in it. It's okay to draw parts of the problem out that you don't know and stick a question mark in there. That's what we need to figure out, is how many times Kim hopped. However, I do know that Nikki hopped more than Kim, because they said Kim hopped 4 times fewer than Nikki. So I know Nikki's rectangle is going to be a lot longer. Okay? So here, boom. If we were to match them up, this line would come right down here. This is exactly what Nikki jumped, right? We don't know how much that is. That's how much Nikki jumped, but we don't know how much that is. We only know this whole section, which is 15. So we know that whole section is 15, and we know that the section, or the amount of times that Nikki jumped more, was 4. Because it said Kim jumped 4 times fewer, which means Nikki jumped 4 times more, or greater. Okay? So now we have our number bond. We have our whole, and we're missing a part. So part plus part equals whole. Or we can switch it around and do a subtraction sentence. When you're missing a part, that's when you want to use subtraction. So we're going to take our whole, because for a subtraction sentence, we always start with our whole. I'm going to subtract the part we know, which is 4. And we're going to figure out what our answer is there. So I'm going to put 15 in my head and count backwards by 4. Let's do that together. Ready? 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. So 15 minus 4 equals 11. So that must mean that this section right here is now 11. That must mean that Kim was able to jump 11 times on one foot. So we can even put these numbers back into our word problem to see if it makes sense. Nikki jumped 15 times on one foot. Kim jumped 4 fewer times than Nikki. 11, we know, is 4 numbers less than 15, so we must be correct. Let's try another one, because that was a subtraction one that was a little bit more difficult. So, here we go. This is the one I want to try. So make sure you have a blank space, a clean whiteboard, or whatever it is you're writing on. All right, here we go. This one's about Anton, all right? Anton caught 10 fireflies. He caught 7 fewer fireflies than Julio. How many fireflies did Julio catch? Okay, so Anton caught 10 fireflies. That's something the problem told us. Let's write it down in our picture. Okay? All the information that the word problem gives us, we want to put it down on our piece of paper. So I wrote an A for Anton, and he caught 10 fireflies. 10's a good size number. I'll give him a good sized rectangle. I have plenty of space to work with. Anton caught 10. So there we go. We know that. Now we know that he caught 7 fewer fireflies than Julio. So if he caught fewer or less, that means Julio has a bigger amount of fireflies. So I'm going to put a J for Julio. And I know that his is going to be bigger. All right? So I'm going to make my rectangle bigger. Because I know that Julio caught more, because it told me Anton caught fewer. All right? So he caught 7 fewer flies than Julio. So that must mean that the amount that Julio caught more than Anton was 7. So I'm going to say, let's see, if they both started here, here's 10. Bring that down. And we know that this is also 10. And then we know that, so Julio at least caught 10 because he caught more than Anton. So he at least has 10. And then it says that Anton caught 7 fewer. So that means the amount that Anton doesn't have is 7. Okay? Now we have 10 plus 7 because the question asked, how many fireflies did Julio catch? Well, 10 plus 7, we all know, is 17. So Julio caught 17 fireflies. Let's try one more before we head out. One more. All right, let me clean off my spot here. All right, we are going to be reading about Darnell this time. Darnell has 13 baseball cards. He's a big baseball fan. He's got 13 baseball cards. He has 4 fewer than Willie. So, who has more baseball cards, Anton or Willie? Willie does, because it says Anton has 4 fewer than Willie. How many cards does Will have, or Willie? Well, what are we going to start with? Drawing a picture. We're going to draw a picture with the information the problem tells us. The first sentence says Darnell has 13 baseball cards. So I'm going to put a D for Darnell. I'm going to give him a big rectangle with 13 in it. He's got 13 cards. Now it says that he has 4 fewer than Willie. So Darnell has fewer amount. Now if I have more cards than Darnell, I'm going to have a bigger rectangle. If I have less cards than Darnell, I'm going to have a smaller rectangle. But it says Darnell has fewer cards than Willie. So is Willie's rectangle going to be bigger or smaller? It's going to be bigger because Willie has more. So we'll give a W for Willie. And then we will give him a bigger rectangle because Willie has more. Now, if Willie has more, Willie definitely has 13 baseball cards. So let's say C. Bring that down. Here's the 13 that Willie also has. But now if Darnell has 4 fewer, that means Willie has 4 more than Darnell. So this extra spot right here, or the amount of cards right here, must be 4. Because that's how much more he has. So he's got 13 and his 4 extra. They both have 13 cards, but Willie also has 4 extra ones. We need to figure out what this is. So we're going to do 13 plus 4. Well, we're going to have 13, then 14, 15, 16, 17. Willie has 17 cards. Okay, so this method we just used, it's called a tape diagram because these look like pieces of tape. But it's oh, sorry, I should write this in down here. It's an upside down number bond. These are our parts, this is our whole, and we treat it the exact same way with the same rules as a number bond, okay? This is just a good method to visualize that Darnell and Willie both have 13 cards, except Willie's got those 4 extra that the problem stated. So remember, start by drawing a picture. Start by drawing the information that the problem tells you. All right? That's why we got to listen very carefully for the numbers and who's got more or less in the problem. Very good job today. You guys will continue working on this on your homework. And we'll come back tomorrow for another math lesson. Great job, everybody. Have a good rest of the day.